Ambitious women, entrepreneurs are beginning a movement to create a new way of business that focuses on collaboration and community. Together, we are shaping the way by using our intuition, our inner insight, and our creativity. Join us for inspiration, motivation, and transformation. This is your host, Luci McMonagle, and this is the Wealthy Wednesday Show. A special thanks to Gordon Reary for creating the music. You can find him on Facebook under Gordon Reary. So now, let's get started. Our host, Luci McMonagle. I am so excited. I'm actually vibrating a little bit here because we have the one and only Candy Barone, who is the no punch coach, who's going to help you how to get the return on investment, not return on intention. So Candy, you have such an interesting story. You're an executive trainer, you're a coach, you're an international speaker, and an Amazon bestseller. So welcome to the Wealthy Wednesday Show.
Thank you, Luci, so much. I am so honored and just thrilled to be here, and I'm feeling some of your vibrational high right now, so yay.
Yeah, oh wow. I am so honored that we were able to get you onto the Wealthy Wednesday Show with your travel, with your bookings, and how busy you really are, but you always take the time to make sure that you're available to those who need you and those who would like to get to know you. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you call your business You Empowered Strong? So you can also explain a little bit, what does that mean? What kind of work does that do?
Sure. You Empowered Strong really started, I was working in corporate still, and I stepped away to go do a nonprofit stint that really filled my heart, thought it was the right space.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out they just wanted my resume and my network and the fact that I played in some big Fortune 100 companies. So it was more the collateral of who I was, not what I got to do to build out. But something about that woke this space for me up that said, there's something there, right? There's something about helping people on a bigger scale. And so at 2 a.m, I woke up and wrote Youth Empowered Strong, because I thought it was all about how I got to serve kids. It was a program that I got to do to build out innovative strategies and engineering and science and math for inner city kids particularly. But then it started to evolve from there, and it was like, no, it's bigger than that. It's about you empowered strong. And I'm always asking people, either you're yes or you're no. And when you say yes to yourself, you really are saying you are empowered strong to make the choices, to take the responsibility, to step into leadership in a more profound and intentional way. And so it just really stuck. It was sort of the yes. You Empowered Strong, that's what it means when I say yes to myself. So that's what I wanted to teach and put out to teach others to do the same.
Wow. Wow. And for the women entrepreneurs, when they say yes to themselves, they really start learning how they can get this return on investment rather than return on intention. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and how can the women who are listening to this, how can they transfer that?
Absolutely. And it's interesting because, I did play in a lot of the Fortune 100 companies and have 20 years of corporate under my belt. And notoriously, whatever company, whatever job I would go to, or whatever client we would work with, the notion of ROI was more corporate speak. It wasn't actual meat behind it. There wasn't any kind of depth. And so when you said, so what's the ROI? And people would spout off things, there was never a clear definition. And when there was a definition, it was very narrow in terms of just money in versus money out. And so as I really started to explore, because I did a lot to build ROI models for our clients, for sales organizations, to show the value on what they were investing and what they were getting back, it really became clear to me that ROI, or return on investment, which means you're actually putting something into the game, effort, whatever it might be, time, money, resources. It's not just saying you're going to do something, it's actually taking action in that space. But when you look at ROI, rather than being a money in versus money out equation, it really becomes a function of time, money, energy, resources, people lifestyle that you're creating for yourself and the culture that you're creating around you. And when you start to look at a return in those spaces, you have different qualifiers and different questions that you say, if I'm going to invest this time, if I'm going to invest this energy, if I'm going to invest this resources, that's going to be my people taking this, then what am I yielding back? Because the only way that equation works is if ROI is greater than the opportunity cost of what you're not doing to take that piece on. And so that's what I work with people a lot, is to really get clear about how they define that ROI in their business and in their life, so that they're getting the returns back that are meaningful for them and allow them to get to their next level.
Wow. Wow. And that's one of the most important things that as an entrepreneur that we really need to ask ourselves, and as an individual that is investing in a program or is investing in equipment. And if there are certain questions that an individual can ask, if, let's say, we'll just throw out an example, they've already got a business started, they're doing okay, their income's kind of going up and down, and they're looking at this program that could really help them really nail down who their ideal client is, or could really nail down how to set the systems up. What questions do they ask about that program, or what questions do they ask themselves so that they know that that's the right thing for them?
Sure. And there's actually two ways I build those questions. The first side of the equation is really understanding what I call your what, why, and who. And so your what is not just, I want to grow my business 20%, or I want to add X number of clients, or build my list X%, or X number of people. Your what is really getting in tune and in touch with that sense of, what do you want to create, expand, influence, impact, affect? What is it that you want to be your living legacy in every way that you engage and interact with human beings? What is your imprint that is your unique kind of position, stance? What is the what, right? That really deep, visceral what. And then why does that matter to you? Not why does it matter to people around you, your husband, your parents, your kids, your community, but you. And there's usually a story that you've had in your life that connects to why that why is so powerful. And so when you know your what and why, then you get very clear on who you serve, because most women think they serve everybody. Most women go out and say, I'm for everyone. I want to love on everyone. And part of the ROI equation is they're wasting time, money, energy, and resources in spaces that were never designed for them. People that are never going to be for them. And I joke, I say that there's camp candy, and then there's this other camp that's content, comfortable. And if I spend time trying to convince people from this camp to come here, I'm not loving on the people that are already raising their hand. And so when you don't know your what and why, it becomes very difficult to create messaging and clear content that attracts. And the more narrowed you get down, I know it's counterintuitive to the way we think, but the more you get that laser focused, the more you become a lighthouse in a sea of a lot of the same, that becomes that person that people can see, hear, find. And then the other side of the equation is basically 5 categories that I ask people to rank themselves on a scale of 1 to 10. When an opportunity shows up, to say, 1, what is the present value of this? So what is the immediate return I'm going to get within the next 6 to 12 months? Is the return greater than the opportunity cost? Second question is, what's the future value? Is this something that by investing now, I'm going to get referrals, I'm going to get visibility, I'm going to get leverage? What is that future value for investing that time now? The third question then really becomes, what is the opportunity cost? Can I identify, is taking this opportunity less opportunity or less risk than something else that's on the table? Because what happens is you're going to take all 5 of these categories and see where you average, so that you can decide between option A or option B. The fourth one is, what's it going to do for your lifestyle? Are you going to have to suck up 100 hours a week, make yourself crazy just to get this done? Or are you still going to be able to breathe and live a lifestyle that's meaningful for you? Are you willing to give up some time to hit the ground hard if it's only a short window? You've got to assess that. And then the third thing is really your intuition. It's that gut check. Do you get excited about this? Is there a lump from fear of, ooh, this is big and it's a little scary? Or do you want to throw up? Because it's absolutely something that you're like, ooh, that makes me really nervous. That's just not right. And are you trying to convince yourself otherwise? So if you look at a scale of 1 to 10, first of all, if you're not at least getting a 70, it's not even an opportunity to look at. And then if you're comparing it against another option, you can see which one is actually scoring higher, but just a way that you can filter and make those decisions.
Wow. Wow. I certainly hope that the audience has had a pen and paper to write those down. That was really, really powerful. And really that gut reaction, that is, in my book, one of the most important ones. And sometimes it overrides my logic.
Absolutely.
And it's always right.
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting is until you have practice to know the difference between fear that says it's your opportunity to go bigger and step into something that really could be magical for you, or that, oh my goodness, this is making me nauseous because I'm trying to commit. You need to be able to have practice, and you need to weigh, because we have gotten so far away from listening to our intuition, and our intuition is our biggest truth teller. And when you are fine-tuned, so if you're meditating, if you're taking that time, whatever it is, when you get fine-tuned in that space to know your intuition, you have no difficulty saying yes or no. It becomes yes or no, and there is no in between, because maybe and someday are not options.
That's so true. That's so true. And a lot of times it's when you're that far away, you can take like little baby steps to get closer to it. Little baby steps. I'll use a couple examples that I show my clients, but I'd love to hear some examples you have. Some of the baby steps I have is, should I eat A or should I eat B? I mean, real basic primal things. Asking your body, should I drink coffee or should I drink tea? Mm-hmm. Real simple. And then you expand from there. So Candy, what exactly do you have on that? What's your take on really developing that gut instinct so that it's a yes or a no and you're just real clear?
Yeah, I actually tell people to get in tune to their body. So there's 2 things I teach them. One of them is a standing test that I tell them. I say, just quiet down for a minute. Ask yourself, show me my no. And you will either lean forward or you will lean back. And it's not something you can control. It is by the way, if you can be more advanced and use pendulums later on, but with your own body, if you just say and ask yourself very honestly, very openly, show me my no. I tend to fall back on my no. If I say, show me my yes, I tend to go forward. My yes and no stay the same. However, I check it every time. The other thing you can do is if you can either do your finger or your thumb. I do my finger. When you get really in tune with yourself, you can do a gauge to say, so if I said I was a 7-foot tall black man, I cannot for any way, shape, or form keep holding on to my finger. It's impossible. If I say I'm a 5'2" white woman, I can't, no matter what I do, get my finger to break free until I change my thought, because I know what I believe. And I am not a 7-foot tall black man. I cannot for the life of me keep my fingers. But if I say my name is Candy Barone, I can't, and I am using every bit of energy and strength I have. So your body knows. Yeah. And that's, some people, they have to work to get to this level. But the movement, show me my no, show me my yes, will not fail you. And if you can't trust here, because what you do is you see if you're going forward, see if you're going back, and see what your gut feels like. When you start putting those 2 things in sync every single time, it will not lie to you. And I've had people look at me like I'm crazy, because I'll be standing somewhere going, okay, show me my yes, show me my no. And then I'm like almost falling backwards. I'm like, okay, this is not my space for me. And I will look at them and say, with deep love and respect, my answer is no. And they will be like, what just happened? I'm like, don't worry. I'm very clear it's a no.
Exactly. And I call that the human pendulum.
Yes.
Where you use your body, and that's one of the easiest ways. I've never used the finger. I've tried to do like this, but I've never quite figured out how to do this, but just holding the finger.
Use your index finger and literally, because you got to tell yourself and test it. And then when you tell yourself a lie, you cannot for any reason hold on to that, because your body, your system, we physiologically respond to our truth what we believe. And if you don't believe that, if that is not a truth for you, your body will not let you lie to itself.
That's so true. That's so true. So if you're driving, please don't do the finger test.
or the front and back.
Or the front and back ones.
Pull
Yes.
aside.
Do that when you're stand. Pull aside, stand up. Wow, Candy, those are really, really powerful techniques. And it's so true. Your body does not lie. And a lot of times we'll know instinctually if it's a yes or a no. And then our minds start getting in the way and it starts twisting things around. So for the individuals that they're starting to learn how to get that gut response, they're starting to know what their yes and no is. How do you stop the monkey mind afterwards that's starting to tell you, no, actually that was a no, but you just thought it was a yes. So how do you play with those, or how do you stop
playing? The monkey
playing
mind fits in the space of what I call destroy the noise. And so it's the negative self-talk, it's the opinions of others, it's the inefficiencies, it's the shooting and shaming and the excuses. So there's strategies, we could go on all day about this, but one of the things that we could do to really clear that out is, first of all, realize and really just get comfortable realizing that yes and no are complete sentences. Anytime you feel the need to justify, explain, analyze, discuss, apologize, whatever it might be, know that one of two things is happening. Either one, you're making an excuse, or two, you're opening up a way so that someone else can insert their agenda, and then you can have someone else make that decision for you. Because I hear a lot of people sometimes that are like, well, I don't want to make a decision, especially women. And my response to them instantly is, you do realize that that is the most powerful decision you can make. Because the minute you choose not to decide, you allow someone else to take your power and make that choice for you. Yes or no are complete sentences, and they require nothing more. And when you can get practice, it's going to take practice, especially for women, to just say no. And if you feel you have to put something on the end of the no, thank you. Period. Walk away and just tell yourself, that is done. It's no longer my present. I made a choice, it's done, and now I'm here addressing whatever's in front of me. And it's a practice that you need to continue to do. But first, it's the yes and no are complete sentences, and neither one require discussion, explanation, justification, or an apology. Period.
Wow. That right there will save so many women's lives. Because when you no longer want to have somebody else's agenda in your life, and what they think is the right thing for you, even though you could be way off track and your soul mission is so far gone, and it kind of takes a long time to swim back to where you're supposed to be when you allow other people to do that. And just taking the power back on, yes, thank you, no, thank you. That's powerful. That is really powerful. And you have like the fear. You talk about what fears get in the way of individuals. And we just got done talking about the yes is a complete sentence, no is a complete sentence, and the monkey mind and the craziness. And then you have a little bit more to talk about on how to stop themselves from that fear, from going into that craziness.
Well, and the E of the noise is really the excuses we create, right? And it stems from both the S, which is the shoulding and shaming. So that whole I should, I have to, based on expectations. But the fears that really show up, aside from the fear of death and public speaking, which crack me up, which are the two highest. And public speaking is actually a higher fear than death, which just, I make tons of mistakes on stage, yet the earth has not swallowed me whole, but still people are afraid of it. But the four fears, the four categories that show up majority of the time are a fear of being judged or criticized, a fear of money. People have such an attachment and connection to something that is nothing more than a utility. And I struggled with that myself over my own story, is that letting go of the beliefs around money, good or bad, money is just a utility. It's just a exchange of goods and services. It has no power unless we give it power. Yet there's a lot, especially for women, and it's usually a very scarce mentality and attachment, but there's a lot of fear in the almighty dollar. And I know that that's work that you do to help them build relationships and get to know their money differently. But then the other categories of fear are the fear of failure, which more times than not is actually a fear of success. Most people are not afraid to fail. They mask it as they're afraid to go to their next. They're afraid to take responsibility for what the next level brings, because it's that thought of God loves babies and fools. And once you move forward, you're no longer a fool in that space. You have to own it. When you break through, a breakthrough is this big. And we think it's this big. It's that next step. And then the last one is really around the fear of rejection. We're so afraid of the no. When the no, it already started at no. We lose nothing, but confirmation of the no. That's why the power of saying just no is a gift. You stop having someone wasting their time trying to convince you otherwise so that they can go find their yes. And I always tell people that fear of rejection, what you don't realize is you don't know who, you don't know how, and you don't know to what level you can affect, influence, or impact another living person simply by showing up. But you got to ask the question if you're going to show up. And so when you believe that you don't know who you're going to create impact for, you start asking the bigger questions and let go of that fear of someone might say no. It's already a no before you started. You lose nothing.
That's true. That is so true. And how do you work with the pushback from the clients, and how do when women entrepreneurs they have challenged clients or they have challenged prospects and they have that pushback or that hesitation or that resistance in moving forward, and how would you work with that? How do the women entrepreneurs, what do they need to know? Mm-hmm. And I know this is a bigger discussion than what we have time to discuss, but just a little nugget,
Sure.
1 or 2 nuggets.
Sure. One of the pushbacks, I mean, the first question always when someone pushes back, when they say they want change or they want growth, is how is what you're doing working for you? And it's not a flippant question when you really ask people, what you're doing is not working, so something else has to be possible. And so then I challenge them to play the what if game. Instead of the what if the sky is falling, doomsday, oh my gosh, I might fail. Great. And what if you replace that with 5 positive what ifs that say, what if you didn't? What if you succeed? What if by succeeding you could do X, Y, and Z? What if, because what happens is the first 2 what ifs are sort of the, okay, fine. What if I fail? What if I succeed? What if I succeed? And it's very easy. But by the 3rd one, they have to sit and think about it. And they start to shift their energy and their belief. Because I had a woman, and I'll just give you a quick example. She said, what if I fail? And I said, so give me 5 what ifs that are positive. She's like, fine, what if I succeed? And it's kind of got that attitude, right? And then she goes, I go, okay, that's 1. 2. She goes, what if I succeed so much I could pay off my debts? Okay, now 3. What if, and then she started to shift because now she was thinking about it. And she said, what if I could succeed so much that I could create jobs for other people? Oh, that sounds kind of nice, right? Mm-hmm. 4, what if I could succeed so much that I could give back in big ways to my community? And then she really lit up on the 5th one because she goes, oh, what if I could succeed so much that every 6 weeks I could actually travel somewhere and take vacations to experience new things and new cultures? And I said, so how does that feel? You realize it's the same energy you had here. You just put it in a different space. Oh, and by the way, because I'm a lazy high performer, you actually have to create energy here because it's a story that never happened. So you have to make up a lie to go behind it. This has already been a fire that's been sort of burning inside you. You just get to play and make that bigger. 1, it feels better. 2, it takes less energy. So tell me, which space do you want to play in? And when you get them there, then you go, so how's this working for you? And you ask that question again.
Wow. That is really, really powerful. And it's so true when you start feeding that positive what if, and I could feel the fire inside of me starting to go, what if I changed 1,000 people's lives? And those people changed 100,000 people, and we created a movement so that we could end hunger globally.
Yeah. What if you allowed yourself to dream it so big that it actually scared you enough to take action? What if you played make-believe? Remember when you were a kid? What if? Because guess what? That what if still lives and exists. I tell people all the time, stop adulting. Stop adulting and start playing. What if you just let yourself play? What would you do if you could play every day? What would that look like? That might be part of your what. To go back to what we talked to before. That's your what. What do you want to play with? That's your what.
That is so powerful. And there's so many women entrepreneurs, they get out to the business world and all of a sudden they put their head down and they're putting their nose to the grindstone and they've got to work hard, they got to work hard, they got to work hard. And all of that can change in just this much. In just simply, what if I would like to play for a half an hour per day? Or what if I would like to soak in that jacuzzi? Or what if I would like to have that massage? And then what about the big thing? So that is so powerful, Candy.
Well, and for those people that don't think they have time, you have 3 to 5 minutes to put in your favorite Muppet, favorite Disney, favorite song that no matter what you do, no matter how much you resist, and I double dog dare you, you cannot start dancing. I dare you to play a song like McMonagle or Moving Right Along or Bare Necessities. You cannot. It is physically impossible to hear music like that taps into your inner child and not find yourself out, not the song, dancing. You have 3 minutes every day that you can do that.
Wow.
No excuses. No excuses.
That is so cool. And if you don't have the song, YouTube has the song. I assure you they do.
Oh my God. They have old Sesame Street songs. I found my favorite one that was Cookie Monster song singing, I look up and see the sky. I look down and see the ground. I look at you and sing a song about up and down. Awesome. You can find any song out there. No excuses.
I just love that. And Candy, this has been going fast. Oh my gosh. We could go on for a long, long time. And could you tell us, you've got a very special gift for our audience. Could you tell us about that gift, how they can get a hold of that gift?
Sure.
And how can they get a hold of you?
Absolutely. The gift is really, it's a personal assessment. It's an opportunity for you to do that inventory, to see where you're really at. And so it asks you questions in the categories of vision, energy, mindset, readiness, and accountability. And there's 5 questions in each category. And they're what I call candy questions. So they're going to hold the mirror up. They're not going to be soft. They're going to be tough questions for you to really be a truth teller, get that intuition working for you. And then you will, as a bonus, receive my ebook, which is the 13 strategies on how to destroy the noise. And depending on how you score yourself, you may actually also qualify for a free strategy session with me, which is 30 minutes of my time to help you answer some of those questions. And there's a lot we can do in 30 minutes.
Oh, absolutely.
And so you can find that at sayyesquiz.com. Very easy. So it's SAYYESQUIZ.com. Really simple, easy way to get access to that.
That is fabulous. And if they wanted to get a hold of you personally, if they wanted to check out your website, is it also sayyesquiz.com or is there a different
No,
website?
my website would just be Candy Barone International, all spelled out. So it's really easy. It's spelled Candy Bar1 International.com. So if you can spell Candy, C-A-N-D-Y, Bar, B-A-R, 1 O-N-E, International spelled out, you can find me.
Fabulous. Candy, this has been incredible. I'm really excited that you have taken the time out of your busy schedule so you could give the individuals here these tips and strategies. This is definitely a keeper. I'm sure that the entrepreneurs and the women that are listening to this will be pushing the pause and rewind button when they download this show. So thank you for being on the show. Is there any last tips that you wanted to leave our audience with before we finally wrap it up?
Yeah, if I had one tip, it would go back in that space around kind of changing frames. Every time you find yourself saying, I have to, I should, I got to, I want you to change it to I get to or I choose to. And see if you feel a difference. And if you really feel compelled, say I'm honored or I'm blessed to. And you might be surprised how some of those things that feel like they're a task, you might change your perspective and get a different energy around those. So remember, you get to. Everything's a choice and it's a get to.
Wow. Wow, that is so true. And just that one shift that I did using I get to, or I'm honored to, or I'm blessed to, completely changed my business around.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you, Candy, for being on the Wealthy Wednesday show. And I want to thank my audience. Oh, I just love you. Thank you for being on the audience list. Thank you for listening to the Wealthy Wednesday show. I would love it if you would go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Wealthy Wednesday show. Let me know, what did you think about this show? Tell me about the tips, the strategies that you picked up from Candy today and how they've changed your life, changed your business. And let me know if there's any other topics you would like to have on the Wealthy Wednesday show so that I can bring you exactly what you need in order for you to grow, to make that impact on the world, and so that you can truly have the destiny and the legacy that you're intending to make in your life and in your business. So until next time, this is Luci McMonagle. Abundant blessings. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Wealthy Wednesday show. This is your host, Luci McMonagle, and I would love to keep in touch with you by giving you a very special gift that will help you move your business and your life forward. You can access this special gift I am giving to you at my website at lucimcmonagle.com. That's LUCIMONAGLE.com for keeping in touch with me and getting access to a gift that will help you move your business and life forward. Until next time, abundant blessings.